welcome to Barcelona. If you're considering moving to this city, well guys, watch this video because counting the flats in Barcelona is getting quite hard. So I am going to tell you everything, so subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss any news from Barcelona, and for daily tips, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. First of all, travelers, I want to share with you the context of what is going on in this city, the law in Barcelona, because I don't know if you know about it, but we have a new housing law actually from 2021 after the pandemic, and it's continuously modifying because there are so many things to take in consideration. And basically nowadays this law is making the owners of the flats to stop renting the flats in the long term, which is 5 years. Why is that? Well, basically for two reasons. One of them is that there is a limitation on the rental prices, and the other one is a limitation on the updates. What is it all about? Well guys, before, if you wanted to rent your flat in the long term versus the short term, you had to stick to an index. You have to charge what the index says, no more, and you could only update the price that the index said. But if you rented the flat in the short term, you could rent basically at whatever price that you wanted, and you could do all the updates that you wanted. So this has changed. Now it doesn't matter if it is the long term or if it is the short term, there are limitations on rental prices according to an index and limitations on the updates. This year the updates will be limited to a maximum of 3%. Temporary contracts on the other side are from 31 days to 11 months. So at least the owner can terminate the contract in 11 months. And if they want to rent it again or not, this is something that they can decide. They have not to stick to a 5-year contract. But now it is not like that anymore, because if you have a second home and you are not going to rent it, you're going to have to pay more taxes for this. So the law is modifying all the time, so subscribe to my channel if you want me to update you every time there are news in Barcelona. The seasonal rental must meet requirements. I mean, why are you going to rent me the flat for just 11 months if I want to live here forever? Well, if you want to rent the flat in the short term, if they want to rent you the flat in the short term, there has to be a justification. This means that you have to be in Barcelona because you are studying or because you have a work contract of 6 months, 8 months, 10, 11, whatever, maximum 11. And so this won't be your habitual residence, this will be your temporal residence. So it means that there is a justification that you are not living in Barcelona forever, and so that person can rent you the flat in the short term. If not, they cannot do it. At the same time, you won't be able to register yourself to empadronarte. No, because you won't be there forever, so you cannot register. You're only here in Barcelona temporary. So keep that in mind. If you need to register yourself, if you need to empadronarte, you can do it if you are in a short-term contract. So how are we supposed to rent a flat in Barcelona in the long term? Well guys, we are going through a very hard situation because 90% want to rent it in the short term and only 10% will rent it in the long term. So it's really hard nowadays. Also, it's very complicated for the tourists. Why? Because after the pandemic, the Airbnb shared houses and the whole apartments that didn't have a license were forbidden. So now only a few flats have this license and the hotels. So it means that if you want to come to Barcelona, you won't find any more Airbnb shared homes or Airbnb flats without a license. You will only find this kind of flats that they can rent temporarily, like for 1 day, because they have a license and there is no index for that. They can charge you whatever they want. And also the hotels, now that they don't compete to Airbnb, they can charge you whatever they want. There is no index for that. So now Barcelona is very expensive, even for the tourist. So having said that, how do we do to rent a flat in Barcelona, whether it is in the long term or in the short term? Well guys, I'm going to help you. These are all the apps we locals use when we need to look for a flat or a room or a house. So before starting with this, do you know where to stay? Do you know where to live in Barcelona? Do you have any idea about the city? Okay, so let me tell you where to live in Barcelona. I will tell you my top 5 favorite neighborhoods in the city center. If you're a tourist, I would recommend you to be, well, right in the middle of the city center so that you are walking distance from everything. But if you want to be in the city center, I mean in the old city, it's okay, but it's very crowded. There are a lot of restaurants, lots of bars, lots of people, lots of tourists. It's really intense. If you still want to be here, I would recommend you, we have the old city divided into 3 neighborhoods. We have the Gothic, we have El Born, and then we have Raval, and then we have Barceloneta. Gothic and Born, they are really cool, and Raval, I won't recommend it because this is not the safest area in Barcelona. I would recommend you to go there during the day. There are a lot of shops, lots of restaurants, it's amazing, but to leave and to go there at night, I won't really recommend you. Me personally, I won't recommend it to you. And then we have Barceloneta. Barceloneta is right next to the beach, and it is a very old neighborhood with very tiny flats, so only if you find a nice flat there, go there. If not, it's not the best area in my opinion. I would recommend you the next neighborhood close to the old city of Barcelona, which is the Eixample. I have done a video about it, I love it, it's one of my favorite neighborhoods. I used to live there, now I live in Sant Cugat, 30 minutes away from Barcelona city center. Eixample is amazing, it's modern, has a lot of areas, some expensive ones, some cheap ones, but in general it is amazing. Also we have right next to Eixample, we have Gracia. Gracia is very family friendly, laid back, really cool. I really like Gracia, it's not that expensive and it's really nice, and it is a little bit closer to Parkwell. Then I will recommend you Vila Olímpica and Poblenou, which are the 2 neighborhoods that are closer to the beach. Those are really nice, family friendly, modern. Well, we have some old buildings as well, but Vila Olímpica, for instance, is from 1992 for the Olympic Games, so the buildings are more modern. And Poblenou used to be an old village in the city, but they also have very modern flats as well. This is very family friendly, lots of shops as well. It's more relaxed. Now, if you want to know which are the most expensive areas in Barcelona, well, inside the Eixample, we have one of the most expensive areas, which is the area around Passeig de Gràcia. This is where the wealthiest people from Barcelona used to live, so nowadays we have 5-star hotels there, so this is very expensive. Right next to it we have Rambla de Catalunya. That is not the same as Las Ramblas. Las Ramblas is in the old city, dividing Raval and Gothic. This one is the elegant side, this is Rambla de Catalunya. Also we have Balmes Street, Enrique Granados, and some part of the Diagonal. This is the most expensive area. And if you cross Diagonal, you have Sarrià, Sant Gervasi, Pedralbes. Those are the most expensive neighborhoods we have in town. If you're looking for the cheapest areas, well, number 1, Raval, because this is very cheap and also not the safest, so I wouldn't go there. Right next to it, we have Poble Sec and Montjuïc and Sants. Those are cheap. And to the other side, we have Sant Martí, we have El Clot, and then we have we have Horta Guinardó, Sant Andreu, and Nou Barris. Those are the cheapest areas. So guys, I'm going to show you an amazing map, the map of prices, in which now that you know all the areas, you can go through this website. It's in Spanish because it is from a Spanish newspaper, but here you will have the whole map of Barcelona. Actually from Spain, you have to put Barcelona, and then it will show you in colors according to the prices. Oh, also you have to put the net amount of money that you earn per month. So it will tell you, okay, this is your area, this is not your area, according to your income. So the darker the color, the most expensive that block is. It's divided by blocks, so it's amazing. If you have a flat that you like or an area that you want to dig into, that is awesome because you can see the streets that are super expensive, so you can rent a flat near that area and pay less. So this map is super useful, travelers. Also, I want to show you another website, the website from Idealista, which is an application that we use to search for flats. This one is really cool because if you put alquiler, which is rent, and you choose Catalunya, and then the province of Barcelona, and then the municipality of Barcelona, and then the neighborhood that you are looking for, like for instance Eixample, and you search, it will tell you in average how much money you should pay in that area per square meter to rent a flat. So this is great not to be scammed. If you're looking for flats, then you know how much money as a maximum you have to pay in that area. And also, if you are the owner of a flat, you know how much money you have to charge as a maximum in that area. So this is also very cool, not to be scammed in Barcelona. And finally, travelers, I have another link. This is the index of Barcelona. This is also really good because if you are the owner of a flat, you can put all the information of your flat and it's going to tell you the average, the minimum and the maximum price that you can charge in that area for your flat, or if you want to sell your flat as well. So guys, how to find the flat in Barcelona in the long term or in the short term? Well guys, I'm here to help you, so I'm gonna show you the way I would do it. So we're going to do it through Idealista webpage, which is the one that I like. And I have already selected some flats so that you can see what you can find in Barcelona according to these prices. I'm going to show you according to the cheapest to the most expensive ones. The first one that we have is this one in Gracia, which is 1,300 euros. This one, this is something that you should know. As you can see, it says temporary flat for 11 months. And it is empty, as you can see. So if they are going to rent you a flat in the short term, I think it should be furnished. So one of the things that you can do is to call them and say, hey, this is temporary and it doesn't have any furniture in the inside. This is weird. Because yeah, for only 11 months, you shouldn't be able to buy any furniture. The second one is also in Gracia, which is 1,330 euros. It is furnished, it is temporal. But the nice thing is that you have like a little terrace. It is really modern, something that is a little difficult to find in Barcelona, and it also says temporal from 32 to 11 months. Then we have the first one in Eixample, which is 1,450 euros. It's a very modern flat, furnished, and it's really nice. Just for you to know what are the flats that you are going to find for 1,400 euros. And here it says, please read this carefully before contacting. We only accept the following people, which are families or couples with DNI or NIE. This means that if you have NIE, you are a resident in Barcelona. So I don't think this is temporary. Working contract in Spain and blah blah blah. So this means that this one is for the long term. Go and get it. Another one in Eixample for 1,550 euros has a terrace, which is really cool. And it says temporary rental only for people that are in Barcelona for studies, working or digital nomads. This is very important because if you're renting the flat in the short term, you are not supposed to be living in Barcelona forever. So you have to justify why you are in Barcelona for such a short period. Then we have, and this one is really interesting, this one in El Born, so that you can see the difference between the flats in the Eixample and the flats in the old city. You can see the windows, they are old, the floor itself is old. So in this kind of flats, you have to make sure it has air conditioning and heater because the windows are not the best in the world. Then we have this one in Poblenou, which is 1,610 euros. This is more modern. I just want you to see the difference between the flats in Eixample, in El Born, in Gracia or in Poblenou. Poblenou is more modern, so this one is kind of a loft, modern loft. And this one, it says that they will only rent it in the long term with a working contract in Spain. So this one is in the long term. Then we have this other one in Poblenou. This is not very modern. I mean, it is restored because Poblenou used to be an old village, so we have some very modern flats and we have also some like this one. The windows are old, so make sure it has heater and air conditioning and everything because yes, it is a little old even though it is restored. And here it says from 32 to 11 months. again. And finally, travelers, I want to show you two flats that are a little bit expensive, which are more or less 2,000 euros. One of them is in Sant Gervasi, one of the most expensive neighborhoods, and the other one is in Diagonal Mar, which is in Poblenou, but in the expensive area. These two, for instance, they have a swimming pool, which is not very common in Barcelona, and the one in Sant Gervasi is very modern, normal flat, really nice, and the one in Diagonal Mar is really modern, like all the flats in that area, and here it says maximum of 6 months. It's not that common to find a flat with swimming pool in the long term, so good luck. So guys, now more or less you have seen the best neighborhoods, the kinds of flats that you are going to find, and the ones that are in the long term are very few, and the ones in the short term are mostly all of them. But now you have maybe a clearer idea of what you can find in Barcelona. If you think these are too expensive for you, for your budget, well, what you can do is go somewhere else. Where? Well, like I did. I went away from Barcelona city center because, well, since I gave birth to Emma, I need more space, I need more green, I need a swimming pool. So I went to Sant Cugat, which is 30 minutes away from Barcelona. Now, if you want to live outside Barcelona city center and if you want to find better prices, maybe, well, you can go to these 4 areas. You can go to Maresma, which is the next area to Barcelona city center in direction to France, I mean to the north, or you can go to the other side, opposite to it, to Baix Llobregat, which is to the south. So these 2 areas are very close to the beach. If not, you can go up to the mountain to the west, and you can go to Vallès Occidental or Vallès Oriental. These 2 areas are not close to the beach, like I am, but Sant Cugat, for instance, is the second largest city after Barcelona. In case you go to any of these 4 cities, like Maresma, Baix Llobregat, Vallès Occidental or Vallès Oriental, make sure you get a flat or a house near the train station. Because if you need to come to Barcelona city center every day or twice a week, make sure you are next to the train. If not, you're gonna have to have a car or a motorcycle or whatever, or stay there and be happy. Like I said in my previous video, cost of living, if you want to lower your budget and you are not looking for a house, for a flat outside Barcelona city center, what you can do, of course, is look for a room. Here in Barcelona, this is very normal to share the flats with other flatmates, other people just like you, and this is something that we do. You can check also in the same applications to look for flats, you can look for rooms. Usually when you rent a room, you pay a fixed price and it includes all the services, utilities and everything. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, so just check that. Sometimes you can register yourself in that flat, so if you need to empadronarte, check it before renting the room. And also, other option that you can do that a lot of people is doing right now in the city is to rent a room or a flat in a co-living. Co-living is a great way to be in a community with other people. It's not just your flat, you are renting a room in a community. So you have a lot of people to hang out, a lot of people in the house. It's like really cool. If you are interested in this type of accommodation, I have a video about it, and also I'm going to leave you a website in the description of this video. So having said all that, hope you now know where to stay in Barcelona, where to look for flats, where to look for rooms as well, and everything. So guys, subscribe to my channel if you want to be updated regarding everything that is going on in this city in Barcelona. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok for daily tips, and if you have any questions, please use the comments. I will be happy to answer all the comments. See you next week, travelers. Bye bye.